Yeah. Better days, I pray for better days. Working hard cause I want extra pay. Talk to them seeds, but you must demonstrate. Cause it's your ways that they gon' imitate. Non-violent. Sometimes I wish I would've went to college. Frown proudly. Cause where I'm from, they hate you when you smiling. Your faith should be your gun. You can't leave home without it. The children being grown, cause all the parents acting childish. You show them your reality, I bet they doubt it. You tell them all about your dreams, that's when they out it. Your own blood, ain't no family no more. They do you badly for show. You try to patch up your soul, Lord knows you on a mission to show him you so submissive. The prayer said in silence, you know the devil can hear him, pay attention. Know the war's within, how much time do you spend? Try to balance your zen, then again, losses is lessons. You tell me you trying to win. We know about saving money. You tell me you trying to spend that blood on it. Sweat, tears, you put that love on it. Your best years was just a dumb moment. You tired of going hungry. Can't deal with fake making your life lonely. Your lack of faith that left your soul boning. But you gon' work and you gon' strive. Do what it takes to survive. What is truth? What is a lie? You know that war's inside. Some get draped into the fake. They don't know what to decide. Wrong choice, meet your demise. Keep that between you and I. You realize some people you gon' let go. You visualize the things you need to feed your soul is on the rise. They not gon' wanna let you go, but it's alright. It's cool to bury what's gon' grow. Went from wrong to the right and to the dark to the light. It was a hell of a fight. You give it all your might. Gotta hold on tight and you stay strong and precise. You fight the war that's inside, cause it might change your life. Wrong to the right and to the dark from the light. It was a hell of a fight. You give it all your might. You just hold on tight and you stay strong and precise. You fight the war that's inside, cause it might change your life. I ain't the person that I used to be. So what I do today ain't things that you used to see. Stay the same, no, things change usually. Some folk I may know might get reintroduced to me. Yeah, I ain't the person that I used to be. So what I do today ain't things that you used to see. Stay the same, no, things change usually. Some folk I may know might get reintroduced to me.
Don't be stressing on the dumb shit, cause God is gonna make a way. Just keep going and keep your faith, so you can win this race. This race called life, yeah, yeah. This race called life. This race called life, yeah, yeah. Race called life. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm grinding cause I know that I'm gon' get it. I just gotta have vision, keep faith and be humble, and have some patience with it. I've been A1 since day one, and always on my job. I never been a fake, never had to steal and rob, cause I do good business, I'm too good with it. And even though I'm on this road, I'm still daddy to my children. You know I do good with them, and don't like being missing. But I hate when my bills is thicker and my pockets get thinner. But I can't stress up on the dumb shit, cause God is gonna make a way. I keep going and keep my faith in my pace, so I can win this race. Win this race called life. This race called life. I'm just trying to win this race called life. This race called life. This race called life, yeah. Race called life. I'm just trying to win this race called life, yeah, yeah, yeah. I keep on running in this race called life. 'Cause I'm just trying to win this race called life.
I be the 9, eat the bean of the 4D, the 4D, I'm a Elohim. I be the 9, eat the bean of the 4D, the 4D, I'm a God. It's the Elohim, Ben Ami, Misraim, universal thought, rock at 9, eat the bean. Who be the one, rock the spot non-stop? I, scientific God, the human juggernaut. 11 trillion, 40 billion infinite children time travel down tree of lives etheric molecules that were cubed like Rubik's 6-point born Judah macabre light be dark blue Manu de Vishnu Ha'adam from Azulik pure will form existence thought the distance peak wisdom we build it less than zero our enemies feel pain goodbye hero Black rain descent to Tamana through earth chain Elohim reign and Lord to reign feel the essence Egyptians fame we be noble Aryans next to our names like Juali Ben Ami Harabi vision I see be me beyond 3D eyes above hills a shadow to become Hayah Daniel son root to Yahweh Kakma golden one focus unfold omen I be the 9 eat the bean of the 4D the 4D I'm a Elohim I be the 9 eat the bean of the 4D the 4D I'm a God it's the Elohim Ben Ami Misraim universal thought rock at 9 eat the bean who be the one rock the spot non-stop I scientific God the human juggernaut Torah reigns supreme, Azulitic world, born imagery from the all I see. The breath implodes within the cosmic stomach. That's panoramic. 613 commandments got Ha'adam, Kakma standing. Chanting, making war cloud sounds of cosmic form and atoms to shatter the sound. Barrier the patterns, explode the matter. Born Saturn, Trent, Venus chain, Israel.
And that was the sounds of the mighty Hebrew. We can have the mighty Hebrew in the building. Everybody give him a round of applause. How you feeling today, mighty Hebrew?
Oh, hallelujah. All praise to Yahweh. How you feeling, good brother?
I'm feeling amazing. Thank you for asking, man. Thank you for gracing my platform too, as well. You reached out and this was something I definitely wanted to make happen. And you know what, excuse me, let me give the intro to my to the people watching. Welcome back to the show, family. Today we've got a legend in the building, one of the most respected and seasoned voices in the Hebrew community. For over 35 years he has been teaching, traveling, and building literally from his compound overseas to the debate arenas across the world. His name rings bells. They call him the mighty Hebrew, a man known for supreme scholarship, fearless debate tactics, and a reputation for going above and beyond to pull the deepest, most credible sources that scholarship has to offer. This is more than an interview. It's a conversation with a cornerstone of the culture. So buckle up, tap in, and let's get into it. This is Mighty Hebrew. And again, let's give him another round of applause, y'all. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
It's definitely an honor. It's definitely an honor to be on the show. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, the supreme reality of the multiverse, and to our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and those striving for righteousness all over the planet Earth. I say into the family, Shalom Aleichem. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be here, you know, where some of the toughest, strongest debaters are on, you know what I'm saying? So I've been watching you for quite some time, and I can see the growth and development. It's definitely an honor to be on the show. So wherever you want to start at, let's get it, man.
But you know what? We're going to go straight into the presentation because I was looking at some of these slides. And again, like I say, you go above and beyond to get some of the best scholarship. So the title is Understanding. You know what? I'll let you go ahead and present your presentation.
Hallelujah. Again, giving all praise and honor to Yahweh. This is actually the first time I ever started the presentation first before the actual interview. And I think that's dope. And that's something that should be recognized and sealed, because a lot of people there go, that's interview. No, we got to give the family stake. So now, what is understanding the seven emanated cycles of Adamic consciousness? I've been in this culture for 34 years, so I've seen the growth and development of Israel. When I first came in the culture, you had to have like master teachers, or what we would call in Ivrit, Zakwanim. You had to have elders. And them elders, or the Morim, the teachers, they would, teach you Hebrew culture 101, and you would build up in that understanding. There's a man by the name of Nasiko, Prince Emmanuel bin Yahuda. He was a part of the introduction of Saw Dr. Kazriel bin Yahuda, Dean of the School of the Prophets Institute in Damon, Israel, Northeastern Africa. At the School of the Prophets, he did a lecture called Helping to Conceptualize the New Heaven and New Earth. And Prince Emmanuel said, remember a time when you first learned how to count. You first learn how to count from 0 to 9, 1 to 10. The basic fundamental understanding of mathematics is first to count with your fingers, okay? And as you develop physically, psychologically, spiritually, morally, your understanding of mathematics, it broadens, even though the foundation remains the same, 0 to 9 or 1 to 10. You start adding, you start subtracting and dividing and doing decimals, fractions, right? Division. Then you start to get into the algebra, the calculus, the trigonometry, the logarithms of mathematics. It's a labyrinth, but it's simple. Meaning when you first learn to count, follow me, y'all. You first learn from 0 to 9, 1 to 10. The Bible. When you first learn into the understanding of Yisrael or Yasha'Allah, you were first taught to read the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heavens and earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness covered the surface of the deep. Right? This is how you first were learned the Bible. But then as you develop, just like one that would develop in mathematics, your understanding or the foundation is simple, but as you grow, the picture becomes more elaborate and more clearer. So now it's no more in the beginning, it's in beginnings, right? This Elohim, or these powerful ones, started to form that which is in water, so to say. Because Shamayim in the Ivrit don't mean just the abstract Greek thought heaven. It means that which is waters. We're getting to all that as we develop. It's also metaphorical to the mind. In Eretz or Arat Tazah, meaning land, field, earth in the abstract sense, but it's really the manifestation and substance of the mind. So understanding the seven emanated cycles of Adamic consciousness. We're using the term seven emanated because in the Greco-Roman Hellenistic abstract mind state, when you first learn in the Genesis, in Ivrit is known as Bereshit in modern Hebrew, in ancient Hebrew, but Ashiat, right? You first learn 7 literal days. You were taught that the word Yom meant day. We've all been taught these things, especially coming from out of the Western liberal democratic mind state that we're under. The way that we became focused within the scripture, it was based on our enslavement as former Christians, as former American thinkers, we tackled this book, what they now call the Bible, with a Christian lens, even though we profess ourselves to be Israelites, which is an Eastern culture predicated on the Eastern people. Where does the social, where does the anthropological, and where does the cosmological understanding that the Hebrews had? This is what we're faced with. So, like I said, that word God, used in the abstract sense, it means that. But if we're talking about Moses being born 1526 BCE, now one might say, well, where are you getting your dates from? Well, let me give y'all first a foundation, biblically and then historically. So we know, biblically, we see in the first book of Kings, chapter 11, verse 42, we see that Solomon reigned for 40 years and he died. And he slept with the fathers. We see that. When we stay in the same book of Kings, going to Kings, the first book of Kings, chapter 6, verse 1 to 4, it says, during the 4th year of King Solomon's reign, 480 years after the Exodus. So if Solomon reigned for 40 years in 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 42, and he died, then historically he died 930 BCE. When we go into the book of Kings, chapter 6, right? The first book of Kings, chapter 6, verse 1 to 4, we clearly see that it was during the 4th year of King Solomon's reign that he started building the temple, 480 years after the Exodus. So if he died 930 BCE, he reigned 40 years. That means the 4th year of his reign was 966 BCE. 480 years after the Exodus, 966 BCE, plus 480 years, the Exodus would have been 1446 BCE. Okay. See, I'm aligning the, the biblical, or the so-called biblical, and I'm saying so-called because that wasn't the original name of our scrolls. But back to my point, the biblical with the historical. So if we start to calculate Moses, right, 80 years and manifesting this Exodus, that means Moses was born 1526 BCE. Now, why am I doing all this? Because we need to know the script that Moses was writing at the time for us to understand the 7 emanated cycles of our Adamic consciousness, right? We can't use the block Hebrew that come from our Assyria Babylonian script. We got to go to what was being scribed at that time. So the oldest records we have, and we see Kukovich in the world's oldest language, he's translating this, right, in the world's oldest language, and it's called Sinaitic Pictorial Hebrew. And yeah, Potovich, that's his name, excuse me, Potovich. He's the one that translated this stuff. And you can see us calling ourselves Hebrew back in 1876 BCE. You see the Hebrews that were in the caves mining in ancient Kemet during this time, during the time of Moses. They was complaining, and they even wrote about certain Exodus plagues. Okay, and they have all this documented in a book known as the world's oldest language, right? So us understanding that in retrospect, then naturally we would use that script to understand the word Yom. So in the Greek abstract, Yom is day. Hebrew is a concrete language dealing with the senses. So in Greek thought is abstract. The thing with the Hebrew culture, we don't just describe things. We describe and also describe the action or what it does. So the word Yom, you have a Yod. In the ancient pictorial Hebrew hieroglyph, it's an image of an outstretched arm clamping on something. Then you have a Wah or a Wah, which is an image of a nail being pressed or pressing on something. And then you have the Meme, or the Ma, which is an image of water waves. So when you put the Yod or the Yah, the Wa or the Wo, and the Meme or the Ma together, it becomes Yom or Yawam, which means that which containeth life. Because water in the Hebrew culture is defined as life. That which containeth would be Yah, that is holding and pressing down from thought to reality, or from the water world to the material world. This is why all the ancient archaic records, when they talk about the emanation of things, it all comes from out of water. Even when woman is giving birth, you see that the water break first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So watch this. So watch this. So if it means that which containeth life, it wouldn't be the first day, the second day. It would be the first containment of life, the second containment of life, the third containment of life, all the way until you get to the sixth containment of life. Go to the first slide, my Lord. Go to the first slide. And I say that the realization of truth is the ultimate weapon to manifest one's reality. And that's a true statement. That's a true consummating equation that I stated. That's in my new book, 311 trillion, 40 billion BCE to now. The realization of truth is the ultimate weapon to manifest one's reality. Nothing else. Truth is the absolute, and truth has no master. So just using the word Yawam itself, showing that it don't literally mean day. Now we're multidimensional, yes, we're multidimensional. So as Elohim embodied in human form, we're getting to that as I develop. But Israel being Elohim embodied in human form, within this third realm, we can look at it as 7 days, but that wasn't the intent of the bitter sheep. The Bereshit, because in Hebrew, Bereshit means in beginnings, right? So there was a multiplicity of beginnings. This is why we told time by the way of cycles and seasons. We didn't have a linear history, and we're getting to that. Go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. So now you see this image. One might say, well, what is that? Before I give you the physical, I'm giving you something that is kind of anthropomorphic, that can in tune by the way of your senses. So in Hebrew cosmogenesis, we understand how Adam existed before Ha-Adam in the physical. Let's prove it. When you go into the book of Yirmiyahu, or Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 1 to 3, it talks about how Yahweh knew Yirmiyah when he was in his mother's womb. To know is to perceive. So the point that we're laying claim here at the Mighty Hebrew University is that the Elohim etheric body existed. That's why the book of Psalms say that we walk this plane first in robes of glorious light. That's when we were in our true etheric Elohim state. And we calculate that to give an idea 311 trillion, 40 billion years ago, the first so-called day, or really the first containment of life, till you get to the seventh containment of life. Now you're talking about 100,000 BCE. We're getting to that as we develop. So you see Adam, or Ha-Adam, correctly, because it uses the definite article. And also, let me get a little bit into that word Adam. And I know many Hebrews say, yeah, you know, Adam means man. No, it don't. No, it doesn't. The problem with your Strong's concordances that the Hebrews are using is that the concordances are not translated based on Hebrew thought. They're translated based on how the King James Version translated the word. Okay, let's break down this word ha'adam. Now, remember, I already established the fact that the Hebrew writing that was used during the time of Moshe would have been the Sinaitic pictorial Hebrew. All you got to do is type it up on your Google and you could clearly see it. Not the Paleo, But the Sinaitic, remember, we was in Kemet. So our script was influenced with Medunetta. Not to say that Medunetta created our script. No. But we're talking about social environments. Just like in the United States right now, us, FBA, Foundational Black Americans, we have exposed the whole United States in the world, us, that true soul brother number one, soul power that came from Foundational Black Americans, the tribe of Yehuda, Yahowada, Yehuda, Judah, right? So when we see this original soul man / so-called soul man, the word man in Ivrit is ish, and woman is isha, and they translate it as wife, husband. But let's break down this word ha'adam. In the Hebrew Sinaitic pictorial hieroglyph, the ha or the hey is an image of a man with outstretched arms facing the northern star. The aleph in Adam, right? Because when you look in Genesis chapter 2, 3, 4, it doesn't say Adam, it says Ha-Adam in the Hebrew. So the aleph or the ah is an image of an ox head, you know what I mean, which is strength, power, ruler, first in rank. Then you see the Daleth, which is an image of a doorway of somebody walking into the door. Then you see the Meme, which is the image of water waves. So when you put the Daleth and the Meme together, it's as in the blood of grapes, right? As in the blood of grapes. So now you got the blood. And remember, the Ah is first in rank. So when you say Adam, you're saying the firstborn, the first blood. Are y'all with me? Are you with me, my brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Watch this. Then you have that Ha. Remember that Ha is still there, which is an image of a man with outstretched arms facing the northern star. Think I'm lying? Just type up the Ancient Hebrew Research Center and look at the ancient Sinaitic Hebrew hieroglyph, and y'all can clearly see I'm telling the truth. When you see the hay, it's an image of a man with outstretched arms. And then you have Adam, which is the firstborn or the first blood. It doesn't mean man. So when you say Ha'adam, you're saying the firstborn or the first blood rising with outstretched arms facing the northern star. That's what the word Adam means. Ha'adam was an asexual being that was neither male nor female, but a being, a various being that have both masculine and feminine principle. As the process of separation occurred, we find this in Bereshit or Genesis. I'm breaking down this image. This deep sleep is esoteric. It's talking about a seasonal period, which we calculate here at the Mighty Hebrew University, 3.5 million years from 21 million BCE to roughly around 18 million BCE. Another story, another topic. But the separation, because the Zolal, which is miscalled and falsely translated as Reb, it should be Zolal, which is the feminine principle, took them from out of Ha'adam. Now you have man and woman. So for those that of the matriarchic persuasion in the Black conscious community, like Polite and many others that believe natural Tahuti, many others that try to say women were on the planet first, that's false. If there's those that are on the persuasion that men were on the planet first, that's false. Men and women both came on the planet at the same time. That's what it's saying. When it says Ha'adam went into a deep sleep and the red was taken, that was the feminine principle or the side that was taken by the way of process from instinctive will to now noticing the difference. So one started to dominate the other. So the masculine dominated psychologically, physically. The feminine started dominating emotionally, spiritually. All right. And then you get this separation. Now you have male and female, which you know In Ivrit, Zakar Waha Nikiva. Zakar Wa Nikiva. Male and female, he created he, them, and called their name Ha'adam. So what you see is Ha'adam in that celestial Elohim body. And when you start to understand the better sheet in its absolute perfection, you understand that Ivrit, or the Hebrew meaning my passing over from one dimension to another. Genesis 1 is breaking down Elohim time traveling from one dimension to another, and within the process of that time traveling, wherever residue that was on the Adamic conscious body that wasn't necessary, it became formed into the universe. It became formed into the universe. So in essence, we, the children of Israel, we don't come from the universe. The universe comes from us. In our original Elohim state, when we became more physical and material, wherever we didn't need that residue that was on our cosmic Elohim body, it formed the sun, moon, and stars and everything else in the universe. Next slide.
Okay, so that's what Ahadam means, because I was looking at that and I came to a different conclusion, but I'm glad you broke that down and explained that for the people.
Yeah, the word Ha'adam, all y'all got to do is go to the Ancient Hebrew Research Center or just type in Sinaitic Hebrew, Ancient Sinaitic Hebrew alphabet. And when that pops up, all you do is just take the letter Ha'adam in the Hebrew and you look up each letter in the Sinaitic Hebrew. It gives you the symbolic meaning and the meaning of it, the full concrete meaning. And you're going to find out it doesn't mean man. It means the firstborn or the first blood rising with outstretched arms. See, what they did was they tried to create a chauvinistic idea of the Bible as if Hebrews were throwing the woman to the side as secondary. And that's not the case when it's understood. See, the matriarchic system is incorrect. The patriarchic system is incorrect. The original now we're patrilineal, yes. We're patrilineal, meaning that we trace the seed of who we are through our fathers. Yes. But we were neither in our original state of being. We were neither patriarchic nor matriarchic. We were Edenic. We were Edenically based because everything was balanced. If there was a king, there was a queen, a prince, a princess, in, out, left, right, up, down, good, evil. There's a balance. There's an inverted, there's a horizontal. There was balance in things, okay? So when you talk about the woman being beneath, no. We're talking order. Many brothers and sisters that look at the Hebrew culture with a negative eye, they confuse equality with sameness. A woman and man's roles are different. Their perspectives are different, but the responsibility is shared. The nation of gods and earths presented it correctly in their supreme mathematics when they talk about number 2, wisdom. When they say wisdom is secondary but most necessary to produce life. Wisdom is the manifestation of one's knowledge. This is symbolic to the Asiatic black woman who received instruction from the Asiatic black man. We're talking about the intent. I'm not a 5%. I'm not in the nation gods and earth, but knowing the truth, hear the truth, and speaking the truth, sure. So if you want to label me 5% in that sense, metaphorically, oh, okay, that's fine. But wisdom, when they say in the secondary but most necessary, they're not saying that a woman is below them. What they're saying is there's an order in things. So when one comes into the Hebrew Israelite culture, it's the creator, man, woman, and child. As the 5% would say, the sun, moon, and stars, which we see Joseph having that dream when he dreamed about the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowing to him, which the sun was his father, the moon was his mother, and the 11 stars was his brothers. Right? So now y'all see the elders. I got to bring the elders and give accolades to the elders that came before us. These are the master teachers that taught me. In the middle, you got Adonenu, Rabbeinu, Ben Ami, Ben Yisrael, HaMoshiach, affectionately known as Ben Ami. All these elders, and right next to him, the one with the black, is my Saba, my grandfather, who gave me the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as a Hebrew Israelite sovereign national prince, Asiel ben Shaliach ben Yisrael, affectionately known as Prince Asiel, the international ambassador and prime minister of the kingdom of Yahushua and Damona, Israel, northeastern Africa. All these Nasakim, all these princes that you see, they all made transition. The latest transition was Prince Ram ben Yahuda. The one that's still alive is the one that wrote The Impregnable People, and that's Prince Gabriel. Some people call him Gabriel ben Hagador, right? He's the only one that's left that's still alive. And shout out to Nasi Gabriel Hagador, Hagador. I talk to him frequently. I'm very close to him. You know, I went to his daughter's wedding in Damona, Israel. Much respect to the elder. Go to the next slide. And sometimes they claim that things come in threes. You know what I mean? Things come in threes. So who do you see? Because you gotta give like what is like let's break the science down. What is one's pedigree? Because a lot of people that's Israel, they come on social media, right? And they think they go get a King James Version Bible, the Apocrypha, and the book From Babylon to Timbuktu. Shout out to Professor Rudolph R. Yehuda Windsor. His brother Cole Windsor was my first Hebrew linguist teacher. And one that say, you know, like, yeah, you know, now I can teach. That's like a Shaolin monk trying to be an abbot without a master teacher. That's like a ninja, a non-ninja trying to stop a ninja. Only a ninja can stop a ninja. The point that I'm saying is you need master teachers to properly instruct you. Am I lying? Let's find out. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7, what does that tell us? Let's read it real fast. Let's not talk about it. Let's read it. I'm going to show you that that's part of the Torah, right? To have your elders in your presence to tell you what needs to be done, right? Instruct you to take you to higher levels of this culture. Devarim chapter 32, verse 7 says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations as thy father, and he will show you and your Zakwanim, your elders, that they may tell you. So you have to go to those before you to instruct you. The children are not the future. The parents are the future of the children, of the Yiladim. And us being the Yiladim of those before us, it will only be proper etiquettes to go to those before us, not social media. We have to go to those before us to learn this way. So we have on the far left, Prince Dr. Shaliach ben Yahuda, who is the founder and the original dean of the School of Prophets Institute in Damona, Israel, northeastern Africa. On the far right, we have the late international ambassador and prime minister, Prince Asiel ben Shaliach ben Yisrael. And then in the middle, in the yellow, you have Adonenu, Rabbeinu ben Ami ben Yisrael HaMoshiach, also known as Ben Ami. These are the three that establish what we have in Damona, Israel, northeastern Africa right now. Go to the next slide. These are the ones that taught me. I am Ben Ami, metaphorically. 1939 to infinity. Now let's look at that number 8 laying on his side. Very, very, interesting. Infinity. But let's keep this though, Lord. When you look in Hebrew Gematria, right, and you break down the letters of the Tetragrammaton, Yahweh, some say Yahuwah, some say Yahweh, some say Yahweh, some say Yahweh, some say Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yah, whatever. What we know is the Tetragrammaton itself The numerical value is 26. 2 plus 6 equals 8. So, and it's symbolic to infinity. It's also the covenant. Because remember, all the male sons in the 17th chapter, Bereshit, must be circumcised on the 8th day, which is the sign of the covenant and of infinity of who we really are. Why you think Yahweh, Elohim, or Elohim as Abraham or Abraham to look into the sky and count the stars? He said he can't. He said that'll be the number of your people, those to come after you, right? But the deeper understanding was defining there is no beginning or ending to us. There is none. So we talk about the image. So now we at the 7 root races. Go to the second next slide. Correctly, it should be the 7 root cycles of the terrestrial cosmic era. Now, one might say, well, I hear all that, and I've seen people with that before, Madam H.P. Blavatsky, and these people and that people. We hear them things, but the problem is that we don't have the understanding that she never created any of that. She never created any of that. That which is being shown comes from something known as the stanza of Zion. The stanza of Zion is a Sanskrit record, right? It's a Sanskrit record of antediluvian history. Okay? And what Madam H.P. Blavatsky did, and what is known as the Secret Doctrine, Volume 1 and 2, is she wrote commentary on the stanza of Zion. So she did not create this concept of the said root races. The concept actually comes from the Tanakh. When you read in the Bereshit, the Tanakh tradition, because once we understand where Abraham was really from, then it'll be a clearer picture. Now, I know we've been taught, Abraham was from Ur the Chaldees in Mesopotamia. I know the rhetoric. I understand. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds good until we start to look archaeologically and see that the Ur that's being spoken about is in between 9th century BCE to the 7th century BCE. So then I say, damn, if that's the case, if this is the case, could it be possible that there's another Ur that we may not know about? Could that be possible? Historically, could that be possible? And I also look into the situation where, I was looking at the name, I was looking at the name of Abraham's tribe as I start researching more. And what I come to find out, which I've known for years, is that Abraham comes from a tribe known as the Yadavas. The Yadavas were a Proto-Hebrew group from the Indus Valley. Yes, Abraham did come from Ur, but there was an Ur in southern India known as Tamil Nadu, an area where Ur sat at. And we're going to show all the peer review evidence as we continue to go along. The reason why I'm laying this foundation down, right, is because for you to get an understanding or a grasp as to what I'm conveying, then you have to understand the origin from which these people came from. So the original Hebrews come from Tamil Nadu, from the Indus Valley. When you go to Genesis chapter 11, it says that the whole land, not earth, eretz don't just mean earth. It wasn't talking about the whole entire planet. What it was talking about, okay, So let's make this clear. What it was talking about was the whole region, so to say, the whole region at the time. You know what I'm saying? Spoke one language. Okay, what language was that? We say that it came from a vibrational sound language, which became known as pure Hebrew. But in other academia circles that they don't tell you about, it was known as Zinzar. It was known as Zinzar. We're getting to that as we continue to develop. So if we see that Abraham comes from the Yadavas, and we see Jacob, Yaakov naming his fourth son Yahuda or Yehoiada after the tribe that Abraham came from. See, there were two tribes of Judah. Y'all didn't know that. You had the tribe of Judah that came through Abraham's grandson Yahuda, and then you had a tribe of Judah that came from the Indus Valley, known as the Yadavas, that Abraham came out of. Abraham was an ex-Brahmin. Abraham was an ex-Brahmin. These are just historical facts that we can't get around. And when you look carefully at the better sheet, you could tell that the better sheet is broken into 4 sections with 7 points. And them 7 points, it starts at 311 trillion, 40 billion years to 100,000 years. Let's break this down. So let's go to Genesis chapter 1 real quick, and I'm going to break this down to y'all so y'all can have this. So I'm in my book, 311 trillion, 40 billion BCE to now, on page 58. In Greco-Roman Euro-Gentile abstract Western thought, Yawam or Yam is translated as day in the abstract sense, which has thrown off the original understanding of our cycles and seasons. The correct way to see the first chapter of Bereshit, now called Genesis, chapter 1 by way of Hebrew Cosmogenesis and Hebrew Anthropogenesis is as follows. First Yawam, Yam, Day, Bereshit, chapter 1, verses 1 to 5 within Torah Constitution. On the abode of Yahweh Elohim, or Yahweh Elohim, 100 years of Yahweh Elohim, life equals 311 trillion and 40 billion human years, or the passing of time on earth. Second Yawam, Yam, Day, Bereshit, 1 verses 6 to 8 within Torah Constitution. This means 1 year of Yahweh Elohim, time, which is 12 months or 360 days equals 3 trillion 110 billion 400 million human years. Third Yawam or Yam, day, Bereshit, 1 verses 9 to 13 within Torah Constitution. This means 1 month of Yahweh Elohim, time equals 259 billion 200 million human years. Fourth Yawam, Yam, day, Bereshit, Genesis, 1 verses 10 to 19 within Torah Constitution. This means 1 24-hour day of Yahweh Elohim. Time equals 8 billion 640 million human years. Fifth Yawam, Yam, day, Bereshit, 1 verses 20 to 23 within Torah Constitution. This further means 1 hour of Yahweh Elohim. Time equals 360 million human years. 6 Yawam, Yam, day, Bereshit, 1 verses 24 to 31 within Torah Constitution. This also means 1 minute of Yahweh Elohim. Time equals 6 million human years. 7th Yawam, Yam, day, Bereshit, chapter 2, 1 to 4 within Torah Constitution. And to conclude, this means 1 second of Yahweh Elohim. Time equals 100,000 human years. So when you understand the Yuga and you break down the gold, bronze, silver, iron ages, right now we are in the iron age of the Kali Yuga, or what they call the Kali Yuga. In our scripture, we call it the age or the times of the Gentiles or the Goim. That's where we at right now. That's what you remember when they talk about how Khaldia, they were fire worship and all that. Now go look at Hinduism right now. Look at Brahmanism. Ain't that what they do? Fire worship and all that. That is the customs that Abraham came from up out of. Now, continuing in Genesis 11, and it talks about how it was everybody spoke one speech and they were of one land and they came from the east. East in Hebrew is Kadim, which is the Indus Valley. They came from the Indus Valley. That's what Genesis 11 is telling you, that they came from the Indus Valley and they found a plain called Sinar. Sinar is the Hebrew word for Sumer. So the people came from the Indus Valley to Sumer and found Sumer. The people that came were a group of Proto-Hebrews known as the Yadavas. They was running, they were former Brahmins that went against the wickedness that was going on in the Indus Valley or Kadim at that time. And historically, it's known as the Ramayana War. If you go get this book, Ramayana, and you will see that ex-Brahmins ran into Mesopotamia and created the Sumerian Empire. The Sumerians are actually Hebrew Yadavas that left from the Indus Valley and created what we know as the Sumerian Empire. The names that you see in Mesopotamia, Uruk, and all these different names, them names existed previous during antediluvian times in Tamana. That's why I'm saying the Ur in the Indus Valley is older than the Ur in Mesopotamia. The names that you're seeing in Mesopotamia are pushover names that we brought with us when we migrated into that region. And then from there, we start pushing into Canaan land and Kemet and different things of that nature. Okay, go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. Make sure I turned that off. Yep, I sure did. So now you see another symbol again. Go up. You skip one. Go up. Yep, right there. So you see the stages that we're going through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're seeing us come from ascension to descent. You see what I'm saying? Or excuse me, from ascension to descent. So you see us in our Elohim bodies, the one that looked like crystal-like. And then as you keep pushing, when we got smaller and smaller and smaller, we became more material. That's why Killer Priest said, we came from the atmosphere, the physical trapped us here, then they gave us crack and bear. They had us trapped, not understanding our true nature. That's why Tehillim or Psalms is saying, for I've said ye are Elohim, or you the children of the Most High Yahweh, but you shall die as man, meaning as the other nations, because we Israelites, we are not the other nations. We're not human beings. We're Elohim embodied in human form. When you're reading about the formation of the universe, you're reading about your cosmic self forming the universe. All the pantheons that you're seeing all over the earth in the ancient world are really worshiping Israel, originally Elohim, that came to bring the 70 nations into oneness with Yahweh. Can I prove it? Easy. Watch. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 32. Go to Deuteronomy. This is what y'all need, the children of Israel need. They don't need no more people saying, yeah, I'm a teacher, but they don't have the pedigree to show us. So peep it. Peep this. Verse 8, Deuteronomy 32, chapter 8. Chapter 32, verse 8. Dibarim. When the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, and when Yahweh separated the sons of Ha'adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. That's interesting. That's very interesting. He took the children of Ha'adam and he bound them with their inheritance according to the number of the children of Israel. Well, we know the one that was in there first was Joseph. When Jacob came, it was 69 souls. Joseph was already there. So that's 70 souls. When you go into Genesis chapter 10, the table of nations, that's 70 nations. The question should be asked, how did the Most High divide the nations if the nations came before the children of Israel? That proves that we were there, but we must have been in a different form. So we were to guide the nations. But what happened with us, we became arrogant in our Elohim state, in our glorious light state. And we start letting these 70 nations worship us. That's why when you study the ancient 70 nations, all their pantheons are the same. They're the same. It's just different names. Why? Because in our Elohim state, we start letting these nations worship us, which they fell into damnation. This is why we were chosen. This is why we came back here to be a light unto the nations, to correct which we did wrong from the beginning. Next slide. Y'all didn't know that. Y'all didn't know idol worship is really the worship of Israel when they were in Elohim state. Y'all didn't know that. We were to guide the 70 nations, but we start letting them worship us. They go Adar HaChachma in Lumeria. Yeah, we got to talk about, to understand antediluvian history or pre-diluvian history, you have to know about Tamar Nadu, which they falsely call Lumeria. You have to know about Patala, which they falsely call Atlantis. You got to know about Gurbansi, which they now call Kemet. You got to know about pre-dynastic Kemet. You have to know about who was running pre-dynastic Kemet. And we're going to get into the Nagas, and we're going to get into the Scorpion Kings and other things, so you can understand the deepness of this. So you see within the Sephardic tree of life. And Ivrit, the life is plural, Chaim, the tree of lives. And you see us. You see us. You got to understand what you're dealing with here. This is a whole nother level, a whole nother thought of reality. You're seeing the oneness, the Edenic oneness coming in. That's the symbol of the image. It had nothing to do with anything wicked. Man became wicked and start doing wicked things with this understanding of Hebraic thought. Go to the next slide. So now, you see the 7 root races, right? You see that, right? So, what's interesting, now we're into antediluvian history. We're into antediluvian history. So right here, we're talking, if we're going to start at the 7th, we're talking 12 million BCE. This is where we're going to start at. So you see number 3, it says Lumerian. 4 is blank. 4 is blank. The reason why 4 is blank, because we were more etheric in nature. So if anybody asks for bodies, we can't give them bodies because our bodies weren't fully coursed. So when you see Lumeria 3:5, you see the word Negro there. Interesting. You see it, don't you, brother? Don't you see Lumeria 3:5 Negro, correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. And then you see 7, you see that it's blank, right?
Let's go.
The reason why it's blank, because this set of Lumerians, they're Elohim embodied in human form. They're going to break off and start the Patalian root epic, known as the Atlantean. So this is roughly 5.5 million BCE. You see the word Ramorho, right? So I got this book right here, right, called Legends of Atlantis and Lost Lumeria by minor archaeologist W. Scott Elliott. Here it is right here. W. Scott Elliott, right? So let's read the description of the Ramorhos, okay? Let's see what these Western archaeologists say. Now, this ain't nothing that I'm making up. This is what they're saying out of their mouths. So let's hear what they got to say. Listen. I'm on page 29. The Ramorho race came into existence between 4 and 5 million years ago, at which period large portions of the great southern continent of Lumeria still existed, while the continent of Atlantis had not assumed the proportions it ultimately attained. It was upon the spear of this Lemurian land that the Ramoho race was born. Roughly, it may be located at latitude 7 north and longitude 5 west, which a reference to any modern atlas will show to lie on the Ashanti coast of today, meaning Ghana. It was a hot, moist country where huge antediluvian animals lived in reedy swamps and date forests. The Ramorhos were a dark race, their complexion being a sort of mahogany black. Their height in these early days were about 10 to 12 feet, truly a race of giants. So that's what he said out of his mouth. Now go to the next slide. Go back to that slide. I want you to go back to that slide. I need you to go back to that slide. Take me off the screen and go back to that slide. I need you to go back to the root races and sub races. All right. Nah, you're going backwards. Well, right there. So now you see the Ramoho. So this is what's happening. After the comet Condor destroyed Tamar-Nadu, 12 million BCE, right? And you also have volcanic eruption. Excuse me, not Condor, the volcanic eruption was 12 million BCE. Condor was the comet that destroyed the dinosaurs in our esoteric history. That's a different story, a different topic. I meant to say the volcanic eruption in 12 million BCE, many other Ramohos started to migrate from the Madagascar area, Sumatra area, and start pushing into what we now call West Africa. 5.5 million BCE, you're seeing this Atlantean empire grow. It stretched from West Africa to the eye of the Sahara, which they found, and they're saying this was a part of Atlantis, and it pushed over to South America. At the time, it was known as City of the Golden Gate, Ruta. You had Ruta and Datia. This is where compressed what we know as South America, Central America, and all this region. The Ramohos started to teach a group known as Tavaklis, which is number 2 of the Atlantean, diamond power, which became known later as pyramid power. These Tavaklis migrated into what we know as South America, Central America, North America, and became the first natives of the United States and South America and Central America and them areas in the Caribbean islands. This was roughly 2.5 million BCE. Okay, this is before your Aztecs, your Mayans, your Incans, your Olmecs. That's all post-Diluvian. We're pre-Diluvian. We're in antediluvian history. And I'm taking you down because we didn't even get into how our hominin Elohim species mixed with species to create hybrids such as Ramapithecus, Australopithecus, Homo erectus, Neanderthalians, Cro-Magnon. We're going to get into all that as we develop. But for the sake of brotherly, of time and brotherly, we're going to do this in probably 3 parts. So now the Tavaklis teach a group known as the pre-Toltecs. The word Toltec in the Atlantean, Patalian tongue means builder or master builder. Now, these pre-Toltecs would later be the fathers and mothers of the Toltecian Empire, but these are pre-Toltecs. So now you got these pre-Toltecs, not the mistake with the Toltecs, but you have these pre-Toltecs. This is roughly around 900,000 BCE. You're seeing, them get into the dark art. A lot of people think sorcery and the dark art started in Africa. No, it actually started in South America. And then it pushed over into Africa. We're getting to that as we develop. But notice how the number is getting lower and lower until we get to 9,564 BCE, which is Noah's flood, which is the 4th flood, the last flood. But as I continue on, so these pre-Toltecs, they became evil, right? and they started to follow this serpent type dragon known as Thebotok. That's why when you look at the Cambodian art, you look at the Vietnamese art, I'm talking about the pyramid structures coming into the Pacific Islands and the structures in Central America and South America with these serpent slash, serpent slash dragons. That's Nakash worship. That's all serpentine worship. And all the sacrificing, the bodies on the altars and all. This is before the Aztecs, the Mayans, Incans, all them. This is all pre-Toltecian. Then you see 4 in the Atlantic known as your Turanians. These are your first Turanians when they found the pine skulls and all that in China. And they started to hit the Gobi deserts and all these areas, right? Before it became a sea. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the original Shemite. Now, one might say, well, don't Shem come from Noah's son? Well, there were 2 Shems. When Noah named his son Shem, it was after a pre-existing ancestor known as Shemyaza. And Shemyaza is the one of 850,000 BCE who would contest the dark art of the Toltecs or the pre-Toltecs. Then you see these original Shemitic people. They break off. After 850,000 BCE, they break off because 800,000 BCE, you get the first flood. Because of such evil that was taking place during antediluvian times, destruction came. So when these pre-original Shemites or these pre-Shemites through Shemyaza, they form which you would know as the Aryan root race or the Aryan root epic. Aryan is a Sanskrit Hebraic word that only means noble. When Hitler took that name Aryan, he tried to label it as if it was dealing with the Nordic race. Aryan had nothing to do with that at all. Aryan only meant nobility. That's it. And the first Aryans were black. That's why when you watch old Roman Shaw Kung Fu movies, you see the Shaolin temples with the swastika and all that. The swastika, that ain't even the original name. They stole that symbol from the ancient Indus Valley and ancient Indochina, right? So let's continue on. So you see Hindu Egyptian. Now we're saying that ancient Kemet, known as Grobanti, through our records, go back to at least 1.2 million years ago. When a lot of the Afrocentric or the Black conscious community deal with Kemet, they're only dealing with dynastic Kemet. When you talk about between 32 to 3400 BCE, with Menes the First, also known as Nam. But we're talking about pre-dynastic Kemet. And we're going to get into all that. So now you see that first flood. After that flood, you see that this shifting of pyramid
Sorry, did you
power.
say next slide?
Say what? Yeah, you can go to the next slide. No. Yeah, you can go to the next slide. You can go to the next slide.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Stay right there. Yep. Be right there. That's perfect. Yeah, I'm glad you there because I'm going to show you y'all something in a second. So to finish what I was saying, so you see this shifting from the South America to ancient Grabanti, which you know as Upper Egypt or Upper Kemet or Grabanti. It was ruled by people from the Indus Valley or Tamana Du, or these people, these Lemurian people known as the Nagas. Naga is a Sanskrit word that means serpent people. This is why when you look at the people of Kemet or Egypt, they was wearing them cobras on their forehead because it was reminding them that their serpentine power came from the Nagas. Are you with me? Are you there, my brother?
Yes, sir. My mouse is moving, but it disappeared. Hold on.
Let's take a small, let me get some water. Let's take a small break and come back.
Gotcha.
Play one of my songs and come back. I'll take a drink of water real quick.
AI that summarizes calls for you, suggests
3 lanes left, 7 o'clock. Green Civic.
Cash got shot up into wop from the ooh-wop. Pop, pop, another nigga drops. When we stop, I see bodies all over the block. Pop, pop, another nigga drops. Cash got shot up like doo-wop from the ooh-wop. Pop, pop, another nigga drops. Pop, pop, gunshots up and down my block. The Glock hot on the palm. J Fox fight, doctor shot for survival. Blood spill on the strike, fight him like comets. Generation cold vet, 1-9 cool. For visions and dreams we be Elohim fight Anunnaki. Kai Chi, divine being, Prince Landine. Hanasi, one with Mushakim, rest been on me. Completeness emerges. Welcome to the new age. See through eyes, Hezekiah King, Zion, war, lion, shine on the yard diamonds. Shelled out with that conscious 12 tribes rise. Praise Yahweh, solid power, rock truth like gold collars. Hot vodka shots when I blaze into riots. Daughters of Zion, God is the thought, rock box, sting boxes. Door of return, suckers be spooked out. Shins of Holy Spirits, kiddie feel offended. Fuck it, 400 years, I'm going in. Nemesis, number Israel through census. Lost tribes be endless. Cash got shot up into wop from the ooh-wop. Pop, pop, another nigga drops. When we stop, I see bodies all over the block. Pop, pop, another nigga drops. Cash got shot up like doo-wop from the ooh-wop. Pop, pop, another nigga drops. Pop, pop, gunshots up and down my block. The Glock hop in the palm. Lost souls from drop bones in the kettle. Weight on my mind, heavier than metal. Never run tougher than leather. Man, blame it on the devil. Look in the mirror, evil cannons. We hear chanting, evils and script. Right where the poison needle. Some pretty faces be deceitful. 2 faces of Eve. Pain from loved ones' minds bleed. As Granny cries, sweet G's. We bend the knee. So much sorrow. Even Stevie don't wanna see the wonder. Fallen Elohim see. Lost and enslaved by Roman centuries. From Nike's victory, my sins tingle like Spidey. Legions be poison, Masonic ivory. We lively, eerie, Israeli, sovereign national. As we crush the beast, resurrect our me. Back to the east from Crenshaw to Philly streets, where you see white meat on concrete. Cash got shot up into wop from the ooh-wop. Pop, pop, another nigga drops. When we stop, I see bodies all over the block. Pop, pop, another
These are not just speakers. These are thinkers, forged in fire. Warriors of words stepping into destiny. Welcome to the Coliseum of arguments, where logic clashes with conviction and ideas spill like blood in the sand.
Fire, you there?
16 titans, 16 minds, one path to immortality. They come seeking truth, they fight for redemption, they burn for revenge. Featuring the intellectual elite of the Titans Debate League. Every round a new war, every word a new weapon. Every titan ready to fall or rise in glory. This is not debate, this is combat. Step into the Coliseum of arguments. Only the brave speak here. Are you not entertained?
Only the brave speak here, and you see who we have doing the interview solo dolo by himself, one man, repping for, you already know, the mighty Hebrew. Give him a round of applause. Welcome back. My mouse froze on you earlier. I was trying to unmute my mic so that way I could tell you, yeah, I'm feeling you. You over there cooking, brother. You over there cooking.
Yes, sir. So let's get right back into it because we ain't got much time. So let's get back into it real quick. So like I said though, so now you got the sciences of the dark art shifting over from the city of the Golden Gate, roots are 400,000 BCE, till you get over to your to Kemet, and this is where you get your first divine dynasties, your second divine dynasty, and your third divine dynasty. This is what Minotaur or Menatho talked about and against Amphion when you read the works of Josephus, right? So we know that when most Afrocentric scholars talk, they're only talking dynastic Kemet. So now you see a map right here of Lemuria, right? Y'all see a map of Lemuria. It was already one above, and then you see another one roughly 36 million years ago. Go to the next slide. This slide right here comes directly from the History Channel, and we can clearly see Kumari Kandam, which is also, connected, and its capital at that time was the Indus Valley, and you see Madagascar connected. Now, y'all got to ask yourselves this question here. If there wasn't no landmass there, how you got lemur monkeys in India and also lemur monkeys in Madagascar? Why is the flora and fauna of Madagascar the same as the Indus Valley? Why is that? If we talk in geography and we talk about flora and fauna, just like we know that Israel is nothing but northeastern Africa. I went to the tectonic plate in Israel. I seen it with my own eyes. I stood on it. If you look at the flora and fauna of the Negev, right, in southern Israel, it's the same flora and fauna of the Sahara Desert. This is light work. So when we understand that you have the same flora and fauna, there was a connection. You can see the connection with Madagascar on your far left, and then on your far right, you see it connected to Sumatra, and then up, if you shoot up, you see India connected. Now it makes sense why you got the same lemur monkeys in the Indian subcontinent that you got in Madagascar. Next slide. Now we're about to get to some heat. We're going to get to some heat because I know evolution is the topic of discussion. That's what everybody talking about right now. Evolution. And Charles Darwin. Who is Hanuman? Part human, part monkey. Hanuman is a central character in the Hindu epic Ramayana. Now, it's funny. It's notice you see the word Rama, you see Maya, because if you really study the Mayan culture and the Incan culture and all that, that's all Hindu culture. Y'all ain't know that. Y'all ain't know that these people that follow this serpent worship is going back to the Naga. They going back to the Naga. Y'all didn't know. Watch this. It says he is generally depicted as a man with a face of a monkey and a long tail, often described as the son of Pawan. The Hindu god for wind, Hanuman, is known for his extraordinary daring feats, strength, and loyalty. And my source is at www.bbc.com. India probes identity card for monkey god Hanuman, BBC News. Go to the next slide. Now, I know y'all like, why is the mighty Hebrew bringing up this monkey deity, half human, half, monkey named Hanuman? And it's funny that Hanuman is the Sanskrit word for the English word human, right? And it's deep that this story in the Ramayana is saying that the god Rama, through hybridization, created half human, half monkey to come with Hanuman, right? This is what they're saying. And as you read the Ramayana, you can understand where the movie Planet of the Apes come from and how Caesar's tongue wasn't untied until he got the spark of consciousness. You're going to see this as I continue on. Go to the next slide. So here we go. because we are talking evolution, right? Or are we really talking devolution? Which one is it? Is it evolution or devolution? We'll find out as we continue. But you see, Ramapithecus, interesting name for the oldest bones on the planet, 15.5 million years ago. They found this in the Indian subcontinent and in Tanzania. They named this fossil remain Ramapithecus after the East Indian god of the Ramayana records, Rama. And then you also have Sivapithecus. And they named Sivapithecus after Shiva, a deity from India. Why? Because these bones supposedly reminded them of the Rama that created Hanuman. Is that a coincidence that in the evolutionary world they want us to believe that we came from a primate? Verse teaching in reality they're a hybridization of our hominin Elohim species mixing with subspecies that's not a part of our line. There are different hominin species. We do know that. That's why you have some that have RH, rhesus monkey DNA in them. Then you have those that have ghost gene DNA in them. So Ramapithecus, right? It's funny they named them that. And then you can go into the record known as the Ramayana records and see that the Hindu god Rama creates this monkey man named Hanuman. And the English word human comes from that Sanskrit word. Interesting. And they say that humans evolved from some type of primate. Go to the next slide. We just cooking. We just warming up. And that was in the Better India. So let's look at our source. Why is it called Ramapithecus? Ramapithecus, a fossil anthropod ape of the Miocene epoch. Stop. The Miocene epoch within our records at the Mighty Hebrew University is known as the sin of the mindless, when our hominin species started to mix with their species, right? And you start to see this process roughly around 18.8 million years ago, and the completion was around 15 million years ago. And this was the Miocene epoch, known from remains found in Southwest Asia, meaning the Indian subcontinent, like I said, in East Africa, Tanzania, like I said, and probably ancestral to the orangutan. And it's funny that the orangutan was one of the main characters in the movie Planet of the Apes, but we can continue on. It is named from Rama plus Greek Pithecus, God ape. Come on, man. That's in the encyclopedia.com. I'm giving you all the sources. So now we're here. Next slide. We're in the book again, Legends of Atlantis and Lost Lemuria by W. Scott Elliott, right? And we're in a section known as Sin of the Mindless. We're in a section known as Sin of the Mindless. Okay? And we're going to read it. The shameful acts of the mindless men at the first separation of the sexes. So it's talking about Bereshit Genesis chapter 2:7, when you get the separation, the red being taken from the Ha'adam. When Ha'adam goes into a deep sleep. Remember, Ha'adam is neither male nor female, but the asexual warriors being that have both masculine and feminine principles, which in turn became sexes, separate sexes. The separation of these principles into sexes have best be referred to in the words of the stanza of the archaic book of Zion. No commentary is needed. Go to the next slide. So they said we don't even need nobody's commentary. We're going to go straight to the stanza of Zion, 13,500 BCE, during the third race, the boneless animals. Go to the next slide. That the boneless animals Let me just go in my book because I think it's taking him a little bit. So let me go to the sin of the mindless.
It's not moving for you?
No, it's not moving, but it's no, it's not moving.
Are you sure?
It's still yeah.
Is it?
I got it. I got it. No, go back. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Oh man.
they all look the
It
same.
was. I'm sorry, man.
So
I'll
let's
read
start
it.
from
Go to the
here.
next one. Now,
Okay, go to the
yeah,
next
go
one.
there. Now go to the next one.
Got you.
Right there. That's fine. Is that it right there? Let me see. Yup. Yup, that's correct. Grew and changed. They became animals with bones. So originally the animals, they were boneless. And then they had bones and their bodies became solid. The animals separated first. They began to breed. The twofold man, remember, male and female, he created, them and called their name Adam. The twofold man separated also. He said, let us as they, let us unite and make creatures. They did. And those that had no spark, meaning they didn't have the Yah mind, they were still working with instinctive will, took huge she animals, listen to this, took huge she animals into the meaning of the species. They could have been hominin, they could have been anything, we don't know. They begot upon them dumb races. Listen, y'all, dumb they were themselves, but their tongues untied, meaning that they can talk. They could talk, just like you see in the movie Planet of the Apes. The tongues of their progeny remained still. Monsters they bred, a race of crooked, red-haired, covered monsters going on all fours. A dumb race to keep the shame untold. Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? So in these records, they're letting you know that humans were mixing, right, with species that were of the human family, thus producing these hybrids. Come on, man. This is light work. This is light work, right? Now we go to the next. So we in the origin of the Pithecoid and the Anthropocoid apes. It says the anatomical resemblance between man and the higher ape, so frequently cited by Darwinists as pointing to some ancestor common to both, presents an interesting problem. The proper solution of which is to be sought for in the esoteric explanation of the genesis of the Pithecoid stocks. Listen, now we gather from the secret doctrine that the descendants of these semi-human monsters, meaning half ape, half human, ain't that what we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't this what we talk? But the thing about this, brother, is this that makes this interesting. Before Darwin's theory even existed, the story of Hanuman and Rama was in the Ramayana records that existed thousands of years before evolution. And in their records, they're saying that Rama, through hybridization, right, created Hanuman, which is half monkey or half ape, half human. And then we see here this manifestation of these species being born, but they weren't of our line. But then some of us started mixing and producing these hybrids, which now are known today to us as primates. Come on, man. Or these bones that they're finding, these Ramapithecus, this Sebapithecus, these Australopithecus, right? Listen to what it says. It says, now we gather from the secret doctrine that the descendants of these semi-human monsters described above as originating in the sin of the mindless because they didn't have the spark in Yah consciousness. Remember, Yahweh Elohim, the word Yahweh Elohim wasn't used together until the breath of lives was blown into Adam and he became a living soul. Well, correctly, it was really the intelligence of Yah now giving the spark of consciousness and taking away instinctive will. And he became a living organism, understanding his surroundings and the ecological conditioning that was around him. He became adaptable through the encasement and the imprisonment of the body. Okay, that's what it's talking about. It doesn't have anything to do with, you know, nothing mysterious or spooky, right? It's talking about adaptation. For Ha'adam to exist in absolute, all the spheres, because remember, Ha'adam is really an ecological condition of adaptation in the Garden of Eden. In a state of delight, first it was mental, and then it became physical, materializing in physical form to become adaptable to the condition of the environment. And the more adaptable, the more consciousness started to pour in. So now the sin of the mindless through long centuries dwindled into size, meaning us, because we were larger and more gigantic, we became more densely physical, contaminated in a race of apes at the time of the Miocene period, from which in turn are descendants of the Pithecoid of today. With these apes of the Miocene period, however, the Atlanteans, listen to this, y'all. Listen to this. This is deep. Y'all got to hear this, right? The Atlanteans, or the Black Atlanteans of that age, renewed the sin of the mindless, this time with full responsibility, because those that were from the Tamana or the Lemurian epic, they were dealing with instinctive will. That was during the Lemurian epic. And then when the Atlantean or the Patalian epic, this is all antediluvian, the breath of life was blown to Yah consciousness, Yah sense. And some of them broke off even having the understanding that this act was wicked. They did it anyway. The Atlanteans of that age renewed the sin of the mindless. This is what it's saying. This time with full responsibility and the resonance of their crime are the species of the apes known as the anthropopod. What I'm showing is you got older records saying that primates are a product of a species mixing with our hominin family producing them. And that was way before Darwin's theory. So what about that? We are given to understand that in the coming 6 root epic, you can go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. That's fine. Now let's go to this diagram. Go to the next slide. So y'all see this diagram of the primal astral man. Now, I know the common ancestor, my brother. You want me to tell you who the common ancestor was? Huh?
Yes, sir.
A
lot of people want to know the answer to.
Right. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm spelling it out. M-I-N-D. The mind. When you look at the top, you see the mind, and then you see the right side and the left side. We went to the right side. They went, the Eurogentile, the apes, the primate, they all went to the left side. So the common ancestor is the mind, not no primate that they can't prove between 6 to 7 million years ago. They can't prove that. But we can definitely prove that everything starts from thought by the way of observation. That is the chief science of Hebrew cosmogenesis and Hebrew anthropogenesis and all indigenous and aboriginal schools of thought all over the world. The chief science was observation. So we can see with this diagram right here, us going to the right, them going to the left. So we did not evolve from a primate. We did not evolve from a primate. As a matter of fact, we descended from ascension. We have to become from descendants to ascendants. See, in evolution, they believe that you're a primate that rises into a human. Thus, from descent to ascent. We at the Mighty Hebrew University say we went from ascent to descent and back to ascension. Next slide.
Mouse. There we go.
Keep going. We're going to skip over that and get a couple more pieces and then stop, because I know you have something to do. So
yeah, we got about 6 more minutes, and then I'm gonna
right.
start closing out. So where you want me
Yep.
to go to?
Go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. That's my book right there that you just seen. My first book, Our True History of the Diaspora and Our Freedom. But stop right there. Now watch this,
I
y'all.
want everybody to make sure they hit up Mighty Hebrews Cash App. Please make sure you hit up the Cash App. The brother does a lot of research. If you want to donate, you could donate to Cash App $ Original Man 73. Again, that's Original Man 73. The $ in front of it. Appreciate
Absolutely.
you.
You see right there, Smithsonian.com. Modern humans. Listen, modern humans once mated with other species. Genetic studies reveal that some modern humans carry DNA from extinct hominoid species, evidence of ancient inbreeding. This ain't what I said. This is what they're saying. I'm not. Let's get it. Let me blow this up so I can read this to y'all. Humanity has a filthy secret. Our ancestors used to have sex with members of other species. Listen, humanity has a filthy secret. Our ancestors used to have sex with members of other species. It says, that's the finding in a new piece of research which suggests ancient people used to rump with a ghost species of proto-humans. So there are different hominin species. Listen, y'all, watch. We are just one of a number of species known as hominins. You heard that? You heard that? We are just one of a number of species known as hominids. Members of this family include Neanderthals and Denisovans, which are no longer found on Earth. It seems that interbreeding between different early hominin species is not the exception. It is the norm, says Umar Gukaman, assistant professor of biological sciences at the University of Buffalo. Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? What does it say? Gukaman tested the DNA of humans living in sub-Saharan Africa and found genes which were widely different from versions found in other modern humans, meaning ghost genes. Go to the next joint. Forbidden archaeology. Give a shout out to Dr. Michael Kramer, right? And a lot of, Afrocentric cats, they don't, Black conscious cats, they don't like him because he done gave evidence that humanity is older than what they're telling us. Because if they actually told us the truth that humanity was way older, what they've been conveying to us, it'll be a different story. It'll be a different story. Listen, this talking about Ramapithecus. You remember how I said that Ramapithecus came by the way of, as a reminder, when the paleontologists found them bones in the Indian subcontinent, in Southwest Asia, and in East Africa and Tanzania, going back 15.5 million years ago. It reminded them of the Ramayanian story of Rama given, creating through hibernization, Hanuman, which that word Hanuman gives the English word human. This is what it says about Ramapithecus. First came to the attention of scientists in the 1930s. This creature initially regarded as a fossil ape, so it was initially regarded as a fossil ape, was named after Rama, an incarnation of God described in the Vedas. Y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. In 1964, Ramapithecus achieved worldwide fame when Edwin Simmons and David Pilbeam reconstructed an upper jaw from the two fragments, giving it a characteristically human parabolic shape. Simmons and Pilbeam pronounced Ramapithecus to be a hominin, an erect bipedal primate. In 1964, Edwin Simmons wrote in Anthropology, Ramapithecus Pemjapius, is almost certainly man's forerunner 15 million years ago. Come on, man. Y'all, you see that? Last slide. Go to the last slide. We stop there. Last slide. Come on, man.
How many are there?
Huh?
How many slides are there total?
All together, we doing 30, but we got 113 all together.
So go
we
to
can break this
113.
down. Yeah, we got 113. So we can break this down into like 3 parts. 4, you know what I mean?
Sorry.
That's how we do it.
Appreciate
I mean, so look, last part. We in human devolution.
this one right
Michael Creamer said, y'all, no. Go back. No, you far. So where you at? Keep going.
I'm on
No, go back to
113.
go to 30. Go to 30. Stay on 30.
Go to slide 30. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go through this a
You
little bit
giving up the
faster.
you giving up the jewels, man. You go to the 30 slide. Yeah, you giving up right there, there. My first book, Forbidden Archaeology, co-authored with Richard L. Thompson. He passed away. Documents archaeological evidence for extreme human antiquity, consistent with the Puranas, the historical writings of ancient India. This evidence places human presence so far back in time as to be called into question the Darwinian account of human origins. Come on, man. I ain't say this thing. These is archaeologists saying this man's an archaeologist. Then in the rare part, he says, because of this, I wrote in the introduction, we have not been able to develop in this volume our ideas about an alternative to current theories of human origins. We are therefore planning a second volume relating our extensive research, which results in this area of our Vedic source material. So like, come on, and then go to the next slide, but keep it right there. Go to the next slide and just leave it there. So I know where to start. Bang. So this is where we're going to start at in the next presentation. Bone mystery. The ancient humans have sex with other species than Neanderthals. We're going to get it. Hallelujah. Giving all praise and honor to Yahuwah, the supreme, intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers, Alpha and Scott and Yaakov. Those striving for righteousness. I stay into the family. Shalom Aleichem wa Todah Rabbah. It's definitely an honor to be on this horn with you, man.
Definitely an honor to have you up here, brother. Honor to have you up here. I had to unmute my mic again. Every time I go from changing the slides to try to, I think it's the mic button that's freezing specifically. I try to unmute it, it clicks, and then it just stays the same.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. A lot of people come today.
Yeah, we had about I think it said like 10 people in the room. Again, this was a pop-up show. I wanted to get you the promotion you needed, and the people who kept messaging me like, when is he coming on? When is he coming on? I didn't see them in
right.
So I'm gonna
they won't come. It's all good. It sound, I'm happy to be here, and I will definitely come back with part 2.
Yeah, the next one I'm gonna be prepared, and we'll make sure we get that 7 days promotion on that, because that's big for you, because a lot of people be checking for your name, I see.
Absolutely. Let's leave out with one of my songs, man.
Definitely.
Let's get up out of here. Let's make it happen, man. Part 2 coming soon. Hallelujah.
Let's go. Let me pull up a word from our sponsors real quick. Here we go.
Yeah. Woo. What? Woo. Yo.
In every debate, there's power, passion, and purpose. Titans Debate League isn't just a podcast, it's a movement, a place where big ideas collide and voices that matter are heard. But to keep this arena alive, we need you in our corner. Your support through Cash App isn't just a donation, it's an investment in truth, in dialogue, and in community. Every dollar helps us bring sharper debates, stronger guests, and bigger opportunities for growth. And here's the best part. When you give, you're not just supporting us. You're standing tall as part of the Titan family. We see you, we value you, and we appreciate you. So if you've ever felt inspired, challenged, or entertained by what we do, show some love and send your support to $ Titans Debate League at Cash App today. Again, that's $ Titans Debate League at Cash App today. Together, let's keep this debate alive, keep the fire burning, and keep the Titans rising. Have a blessed day.
Get down or lay down when we're stopping. It's the clash of the Tigers.
And let's go to what brought us all together here today, the tournament of the year, the tournament that's breaking the internet right now, Clash of the Titans 1.0.
These are not just speakers, these are thinkers, forged in fire, warriors of words stepping into destiny. Welcome to the Coliseum of arguments, where logic clashes with conviction and ideas spill like blood in the sand. 16 Titans, 16 minds, one path to immortality. They come seeking truth, they fight for redemption, they burn for revenge. Featuring the intellectual elite of the Titans Debate League. Every round a new war, every word a new weapon. Every Titan ready to fall or rise in glory. This is not debate, this is combat. Step into the Coliseum of arguments. Only the brave speak here. Are you not entertained?
Yes, yes, yes. And the winner of each round will be receiving $50 on their way to the finals. And we have a $500 grand prize for the person who takes it all. The finals will be a pay-per-view, so be prepared for that, folks. I'm not going to make it expensive. I just, just in the effort of helping give back to the debaters. So that's why we're doing that. And definitely a big shout out today to the mighty Hebrew for stepping up and dropping that scholarship on you. You know what he do every time he step up here. Give him another round of applause, y'all. We are going to end out with one of your songs. You want to go ahead and close out one more time while I pull up one of your tracks?
Absolutely. Just I want to give a shout out to where I'm from, Hunting Park, Philly in the building all day. Y'all know, I'm coming home. You know what I'm saying? The end of the month, my 25 city tour. It is called The Pros and Cons of Repatriating Back to Africa. So I'll be all over the country doing lectures and then shoot back to Tanzania after I'm done. I want to give a shout out to my Yiladim, all my children, all my Nashim, all my wives. You know what I mean? Just all those that's striving for righteousness' sake, no matter where we at. You know what I mean? The thing is bringing this truth, which is Yah's law, statutes, and commandments, Torah, Constitution, Israel being the body politic, you know what I mean? To live a right lifestyle amongst the nations of the earth, you know what I'm saying? And build our own autonomous government and, self-led in accordance to Yah Yisrael. So I'm happy to be here. So, go get my albums. My Mentor Is Never Destroyed, that came out 2021. Then my other album came out, Journey to the Dark Side of the Moon, 2023. Then my album here, War Cloud, right there. That's 2024. And then my single just came out for the fourth album, which is King Hezekiah. For the fourth album, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, that'll be out in a couple of months. So we here at War Cloud. Let's check out what we're pulling up here. Hallelujah.
Now, this one's from 2004. Where's the single? The new single, Hezekiah. You know what? Let's play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I sent it to you. That's the fourth one.
Right here. Don't worry about it. I got you. I wanted to hear this one because I like that cover.
you meant to say 2024.
Yes,
This
yes.
one, the War Cloud 2024. This 2025 right here. Let's get it. King Hezekiah. Hallelujah.
Science lion. Kid dynamite, you got warriors. Praise Yahweh Allah Hayam. Two turban wearing shining. Majestic diamond up white. And the tire crown.
Welcome to the new age. I see through the eyes. Hezekiah, King Zion, War Lion, Shine Onyx, radiate Yah diamonds. Yasha Allah, now rising. 12 tribes, praise Yahweh supreme, sovereign power. Welcome to the new age. I see through the eyes. Hezekiah, King Zion, War Lion, Shine Onyx, radiate Yah diamonds. Yasha Allah, now rising. 12 tribes, praise Yahweh supreme, sovereign power. Israel, we be the missing link, like the nose of the Sphinx, watching the fall of Phoenix. Worshippers of Venus and Osiris penis. Wicked seas breeding demons. Apollo's creed under legion. Send a six-pointed double jointed. Scribing ancient Hebrew on the pavement with a flame. Bodies fossilized under concrete cemented. Medusa's visions descended in the garden. Ayashah, Nakasha's talking. Slaughter Adam as divine sovereign. This is world's hardest heart and life. Pharaoh, man looking in the mirror. Drinking Bloody Mary. Having orgies. 4 horsemen. Apocalypse now becoming 1/3 from this land. Start running to the Mona. Sun flares, burn Amalek with judgment. Yah's words hurt and thunder. Mount Seir age crumble. Fulfill prophecy and great wonder. Centralized like Matumbo. I'm from HP, the park where lost boys get hunted. Possessed from the hornet. Brimstone in the chokehold. Comatose, enchanting souls. Dracula's death holes. Got our necks swole. The young break the cheek of the old. We rule by Romans. Caucus be food for vultures. Sacrifice to the dissolar. Israel, now we coming. Living, breathing, talking, dead men walking, being sparked by the fire. Welcome to the new age. I see through the eyes. Hezekiah, King Zion, War Lion, Shine Onyx, radiate Yah diamonds. Yasha Allah, now rising. 12 tribes, praise Yahweh supreme, sovereign power. Welcome to the new age. I see through the eyes. Hezekiah, King Zion, War Lion, Shine Onyx, radiate Yah diamonds. Yasha Allah, now rising. 12 tribes, praise Yahweh supreme, sovereign power. My mind penetrates time zones, attack clones, unlock truth, mystery, Sherlock Holmes. My throne's barrel above metallic domes, eyes amber, body onyx, stronger than diamond. My short's a lion, voice melodic, Allahayim, electronic, thoughts faster than sonic, celestial Zion. I'm lodging, push up Yah, burn fire, gateway as the shield, 6-point triangle, untangle anger that became mangle. I fucking bangle for physical from sinning against innocent as the chosen. My mind's open, I'm focused from being frozen to time. Kept the suffering, Egypt's bondage. My thoughts move mountains. Watch evil do its ways like x-rays. Falsehood decays as the ancients reign. The multiverses, material terrain versus herbs became legends in the mind heavens. Consciousness transparent. Bill, Sephiroth, Torah, geometric Tetris. Examine the labyrinth using Jacob's ladder. Reach the iris, ion, catch the enlightenment. Abba Yakai, ignite, Dawada. Hamoshiach, rise. Every knee bow, Sire. Resurrect, rapid fire from the Hebrew prophets. My mentors are hard, philosophic. Knowledge dropping like comets from Shemaiah. The plane that gave birth to everything that became what became. Yah power, 2025 scholar. Astral bodies against machines as we rage. Bring fame to Yah's name as we reign. Welcome to the new age. I see through the eyes. Hezekiah, King Zion, War Lion, Shine Onyx, radiate Yah diamonds. Yasha Allah, now rising. 12 tribes, praise Yahweh supreme, sovereign power. Welcome to the new age. I see through the eyes. Hezekiah, King Zion, War Lion, Shine Onyx, radiate Yah diamonds. Yasha Allah, now rising. 12 tribes, praise Yahweh supreme, sovereign power. My people, Tanzania, Prince Charlandina. 2025 on deck. Know it. Wise mind. North Philly. HUNT. PRK. I mean Paul. Forever. Here you have it.
And you know what? I will give another closing statement because why not? You know, what a powerful bill with the legend himself, the mighty Hebrew, over 35 years in the game, still sharp, still fearless, still pushing the limits of scholarship.
But trust me, this was only the beginning. There's way too much wisdom, history, and perspective to fit into one episode. So make sure you're locked in because part 2 and 3 are already on the way. Until next time, stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, keep seeking the truth. Appreciate you again, Mighty Hebrew, and make sure you guys hit up his Cash App. It is ticking on the bottom of the screen. We out.
Yeah. Woo. What? Woo. Yo. Woo. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping. It's the clash of the titans. In the dimension where infinity gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess, build and destroy the cipher. Intellectual sword will slice ya, or whatever device you recommend. Surgical, precise spin. Hand get heated, the room will spin. If man get treated, then booms gon' spin. Level heads with feet, paradigm to box you in. Got a paradigms in the box you in. Make a paradigm shift, your clock won't spin. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Finish your bands in the trumpets. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Yeah. Woo. What? Woo. Yo. Woo. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping. It's the clash of the titans.
Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping. This the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping. This the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping. This the clash of the titans. In a dimension where infinity gauntlet is a mere toy compared to intellectual prowess, build and destroy.
The cipher, intellectual sword will slice ya, or whatever device ya recommend. Surgical, precise pen, hand heated, the room will spin. If man get treated, them goons gon' spin. Level heads with feet, paradigm to box you in. Got a paradigms in the box you in. Don't matter paradigm, paranines in your clock won't spin.
Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we're stomping. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we're stomping. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets, start the rounds when they come in. Get down and lay down when he's going. It's the clash of the trumpets. Hear the sounds of the trumpets, start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay